I want to say good evening to everybody out there, and I hope everybody had a great week, that it was positive for you, that you got a chance to tell somebody that you love them. You got a chance to spend time with your children or your grandmother, your grandfather, your brothers and sisters. God is good all the time, and keep on doing what you need to do, because we all going to leave a legacy. It's a legacy it could be bad or it could be good. This is Chaplain Dale Ray, and I want to thank y'all for joining me today on Dale Ray Raw. And we got a great show today. I want to talk a little bit about our organization, Gaining Ground. And of course, we've been in existence for 11 years now. And we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization. And our desire is to have your support in promoting our mission and the vision of our organization within the communities we serve. And we would hope that you would come out in the near future to join us on a fundraiser or just to meet you and show you some of the programs that we implementing here at Gaining Ground. We do a lot as far as the intervention and prevention program here in Humble and Houston, Texas, and of course the surrounding area. We're trying to assist these at-risk youth out here, and also the adults, to stop them from becoming violent offenders, getting involved with drugs, gangs, and violence. And our organization has and will continue to help and assist in transforming the lives of the youth out there by involving qualified life coaches such as myself. And our organization is guided by a volunteer board of directors, and I'm so grateful I have these volunteers in my life and part of the organizations, because I couldn't do without them. And our primary revenue resources from fundraisers and donations received by generous individuals. And in order to continue our efforts in carrying out our purpose of the organization, to provide these programs such as life skills, drug awareness classes, anger management, domestic violence, and we do a lot, but we need your support. Today, we talking about the poor people left out. And I want y'all to stay with me. Baby, I'm going to say God bless you out there, and I hope you're staying warm, because it's freezing cold down here in Texas. And it's cold. There's ice on the cars down here, but y'all stay bundled up out there. Don't get sick. God bless y'all. Y'all stay with me for a fantastic show today.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be, and so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest
Oh yeah, I can relate to that song right there. Mona Lisa, you know it too. You know where I've been. I've been to hell and back, and I'm gonna tell y'all it's hot down there. Thank you, baby, and I'm loving you in a real way. And even when I don't see you, you know we spirit to spirit. And if you need me on a serious mission, if I ain't got no gas, I'll get a skateboard. I'll come to you, and I think you know that. To all my family out there in the San Francisco Bay Area, God bless each and every one of y'all. And here we are in another year. Today we talking about the poor people being left out. And I got to tell you, my listeners, today that I'm angry. I'm angry at the fact that the poorest of the poor are being left out. And it's time that America comes to understand that many of our nation's biggest disparities, it looks bad. From the kids' education to poverty. And guess what? It's getting dimmer. And even the white folks are struggling. And so do you know that more than 19 million white folks fall below the poverty line? And some people have told me that once the bills are paid, they are lucky if they have $10 left. What happened to America being the land of plenty? And that's a joke today. Still, 1 in 6 people in our country are hungry, and it doesn't make sense. This is a real struggle. It's also a myth to believe that the problems associated with hunger are confined only to a small pocket of society, and that's a lie. That's a myth. But I'll tell you what, the reality is much different. And what we need to do is sit down and educate ourselves about the causes of hunger in our country today. And the other problem is that our system right now, as we speak, is based on need, real need, and also charity. And as soon as people start doing a little better, the benefits stop coming. That's not right, and it's not fair. This poverty is also making people sick. And you see, when people run out of money at the end of the month, then they have to cut back on even getting their medicine for diabetes. And I think hospitals can expect a surge in cases, and it's because of poverty-related issues. And what the government should do is pay welfare to the single parents with children at least twice a month, and Social Security at least twice a month, instead of at the beginning. And we should even pay out food stamps as cash instead of benefits, since we know some people trade them in for discounts to get cash. And I think it will force people to plan better, but to also stretch their cash a little further. That's what I believe, though. There was a time when the government helped its people, and those days are gone. You see, that safety net that has long existed to catch those who are down and help them get back up is now being used as a hammock by these millionaires. And they are the ones paying less taxes than the average citizen. And they got a lot of nerve. Not only that, but they get to enjoy benefits from tax giveaways and federal grant programs totaling $30 billion. That's ridiculous. And let's face it, the poor are treated different than the wealthy are treated. You see, they never drug test the wealthy people. There is a double standard going on here. The more the rich have, the less the poor have. That's how it is. The bigger the pie the rich take, which means less for you and me. And it needs to change. And have you noticed in the past decade, the difference between the rich and the poor has grown? But why is it not a problem if the poor has gotten poorer? I want y'all to stay with me. We got a great show here.
Children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be.
I want to thank y'all for joining me. This is Dale Ray, and welcome to the Dale Ray Raw. I am coming from Houston, Texas today, and I'm fighting mad about this topic that I'm talking about. You know, there are solutions. We need to go to the round table. You see, one of the solutions that I believe that can make a difference is, what I think would be a good idea is to buy a bunch of buses and have them run express from the low-income communities to their jobs. And I feel that mobility is inversely correlated to the degree of sprawl in our cities. And I think we all would agree that if you have people living 2 hours away from their jobs, that the commute is killing them. But also their economic potential. If we cut that commute down to 1 hour, guess what? Then all of a sudden they could apply a lot more jobs out there. It makes sense to me. Taking poverty and joblessness serious doesn't mean the government needs to spend more money. It's not forever, but it does mean the government needs to spend more right now. It's the working class getting destroyed by progressivism. We all know that it's designed to keep the poor and insulate the rich from competition. And even Stevie Wonder can see that. They wrong and they know it. We need to go to the round table. We need to do what we need to do to get our jobs and to make things happen in our life. We can't wait on them. And I want to send a message to those who are less fortunate. No doubt that we have learned to be poor. And what I mean by that is we have been poor for so long that we've developed the belief that no matter how hard we work and how much education we get, that we'll never get financially straight. I hate to think that way, but it's true. And if you continue to believe that, then of course it won't positively impact tomorrow. We got to change our mindset too. We've got to do this, and this means you won't even try if you keep thinking that way. You see, when I smoked crack and lived on the streets of San Francisco for many years, I gave up hope of ever having a life of normalcy again. And even when I was offered a free room and a recovery program, I still turned it down. But one day, after much encouragement from those who really cared what happened to me, I got up and I got to moving in the positive. We have to do that. You see, I began to realize that I had control and the ability to recover from drugs and alcohol. And here I am today, through the grace of God, with 13 years clean. I encourage those who've given up to open up your mind to the possibilities that your life can improve, no matter how it looks on the outside. And I think when we begin to set goals, it will help us to overcome the feelings that we have no control over our future. And it was the energy and the thought process that brought me through this terrible addiction. And if you want to dig yourself out, then you can't wait for the government to do it for you. I encourage you to be more optimistic about your future. And if we can learn to change the way we explain the things that occur in our lives, then we'll be less likely to suffer from learned helplessness. I want y'all to agree with me on that, people. It's true. Let's get to the round table. Let's talk about solutions. And you know, I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual man. And there's a scripture that says, an idle mind is a devil workshop. It's so true. Because if we don't fill our minds with goals and aspirations, then I'm afraid that we'll continue to go backwards instead of forwards. And I knew after a few months that I would stay clean and sober because I made up my mind no matter what. No matter what happened, because I wanted it. I wanted it bad enough. And I woke up one morning and said, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to make it through the rain. And so I speak to you, my listeners, that you got to stop finding excuses to stay down and start believing in you. And no matter what others say, don't doubt yourself. You could make it through. And also realize that we are all born under different circumstances. And of course, in different places. But still, the choice to take control of our lives is in our hands. That's what I had to learn if I wanted to live. We can sit there complaining all day about our situation. Or we can start working towards improving them. So remember that choosing to do nothing is a choice. It's a choice that leads to nothing. It's time to get up, people. Time to reinvent yourself. I am founder and director of an organization today. From drug addiction, from alcoholism, from incarceration, from homelessness. I'm not where I want to be because I'm still trying to get grants to implement programs for our teens and for the adults. But you know what? I wouldn't even be in this position if I didn't start making some changes. And so I speak to you out there who are struggling, that the most unproductive thing that you can do is to keep doing what you did yesterday and hope today will produce a different result. It just doesn't work that way. I hope y'all listening to me. This is my passion. And I know you can. I'm not only just saying these things, I done experienced it. I done been down, and my folks know me out there. My niece out there listening to Baby, she knows me. She know I was out for the count. And so I don't know about you, but I'm angry and ashamed at our government. And they spend so much money on ridiculous things that they forget about the less fortunate people. They forget that people are sleeping on benches, in parks, under bridges. And this space exploration stuff receives enough money. The space exploration, they wasted money. You can give it to the people to assist them, to help them come out of the shelters, or provide them some kind of place they can call home. As Americans, we've done our part by going to the polls, believing the United States of America is part of this whole America we stand. So why shouldn't the less fortunate people out there be supported? And I mean, we stood in line to vote for campaign leaders so they would be there for us. It's ridiculous. And there are so many Americans that have worked hard for our country. How can the government not help them in their time of need? I don't understand it. And I'm going to tell you now, something is wrong with that picture. Y'all stay with me. I'm getting heated on this show.
I want to call the stars down from the sky. I want to live a day that never dies. I want to change the world only for you. All the impossible I want to do. I want to hold you close under the rain. I want to kiss your smile and feel the pain. I know what's beautiful looking at you. In a world of lies, you are the truth. And baby, every time you touch me, I become a hero. I'll make you safe no matter where you are, and bring you everything you ask for. Nothing is above me. I'm shining like a candle in the dark when you tell me that you love me.
Yeah, I do love my people out there, especially the down and out, those people who have lost hope, who don't believe that there's a way out. You tell me, how is it fair for some people to be hungry and freezing on the streets, miserable and tired? I've been there. Even sleeping on sidewalks, I've been there. Even in the parks. The parks are closed after dark. And you know what else? Even the wild animals have homes and a place to store their stuff. Come on, America. I know this because I slept out there on that sidewalk with doctors and lawyers, even nurses who've lost their jobs. And what gets me is that people are so surprised if a homeless person says something intelligent. Then the sad thing is, if you have no one to throw you a rope When you hit bottom, then the sidewalk becomes your home. I've been there. We need to do something about this tragedy. Personally, the government should support the poor people at least until they get on their feet. Maybe they don't realize it, but poor people spend money too. Some of them work when they can, and they also contribute to this economy. We really need to talk about poverty. And on the Del Rey Raw and Uncut, we will always talk about things that matter. And I promise you that, my listeners. And not talking about it won't make it go away. You see, I want to talk about poverty because not talking about it won't make it go away. We must talk about it until it goes away. As I do statistics, I'm finding that at least 21,000 people die every year from hunger. That's way too high, people. And sadly, it is children who die most often. Yet there are plenty of food for every one of us. So why is the epidemic happening? Number one, hungry people are trapped in severe poverty. They also lack the money to buy enough food to even nourish themselves and their families. It's a domino effect. Because then they get so sick that they're not able to work. That's the truth. I've seen it. I'm really starting to wonder, is this a war on poverty or a war on poor people? Those that they keep saying it's a result of undeserved laziness and that dependent people make bad choices. You must be either stupid or crazy to think that. There's a meanness trying to place the blame on an individual. Let me tell you something. That 2/3 of poor people work. 2/3 have their wages stolen from those employers every year. I want to tell you right now, stop blaming poor people and take some ownership. Blaming the poor people will not reduce poverty. Let's go to the round table. Let's talk about it. And I'm also not putting the whole blame on our system either, because it degenerates the humanity and the power of the people who are victims of this system. You see, people, whether rich or poor, we make choices from the range of opportunities made available. And each and every one of us is responsible for our choices. But sometimes we don't get to choose that option. You know it and I know it. Today we should help ourselves, especially when governments aren't doing enough. First, you must believe in the ability to change your situation. Let's not pay attention to all the negative statistics they read or hear about. We must be wise and to learn to live within our means. A lot of us live in poverty because of the lack of discipline with our money. We got to learn to live close to our budget, even if we must ship out coupons. A penny saved is a penny earned. Even though the circumstances you face may look bleak, still it's important that we begin to see a vision, that vision of hope and faith for the future. This is why I'm so hard on the kids I speak to about getting their education. And if you do your part and talk to them and tell these kids, stop hanging on them corners selling drugs. It's more. There's another way out. It's about being productive out there. I want to thank all y'all for joining me today, this Del Rey. To all the people out there, I love you, all of my family, all of the people in my life, from beginning to the end. You've been a special blessing. My dear and faithful family, you fill my life with laughter. My mom, my sisters, and my brother. You shared in my sorrows, my joy, and my tears. You stood by me and held my hand walked with me through the years when I needed someone to listen. And I knew you would always be there, Mom, Jackie and Wanda and Roy. When I weathered the storms of life, you were always the one who cared. And so in this circle we call life, from beginning to end,